What's going on, guys? It's your boy, Geno Liquidator, coming back with another video. And Geno Auriemma and Paige Bueckers had a lot to say after winning the 2025 National Championship. Guys, for this one here, we got to go down to Tampa. Let's get it. Let's go. You can say what you want about Geno Auriemma and Paige Bueckers as of right now, but men lie, women lie, numbers don't, and the numbers prove that they are the 2025 national champions. Now, Paige Bueckers was receiving a lot of conflict in regards to her not ever winning one, and I'm telling you right now, don't be surprised if people start throwing out the narrative that she's better than Caitlyn since she won an Natty. That is not the case, bruh. Her team was way more stacked, but at the end of the day, Geno Auriemma outcoached Don Staley and made sure he sent a lesson to each and every last one of these programs that counted him out throughout these years, because he definitely still got it, man. Now, Paige Bueckers did not have her best game, surprisingly. She scored only 17 points. She played a lot of minutes, but to me, it looked like it was definitely something off. Now, she's ultimately going to become the number one pick and go play with Dallas and Enrique, but it's definitely going to be interesting to see how UConn look without Paige Bueckers as they try to go back-to-back. Guys, Geno Auriemma and Paige Bueckers had a lot to say in the press conference. Roll the footage.
I ask that you hold your questions for Coach until after we have our student athletes depart. Our student athletes will move to the mix zone, and the locker room for UConn is now open. Coach, we'll turn it over to you for an opening statement.
Thank you. You really don't prepare speeches for something like this, although today I was thinking, man, what am I going to say and I'm glad they were rewarded. This was one of the more emotional Final Fours and emotional national championships that I've been a part of since that very first one.
At this time, we'll open up with questions for our student athletes. Doug, we'll have you go first.
Doug Feinberg, the AP. Paige, you just walk us through this journey you've had for the last 5 years.
And the team that we are today, and obviously you feel like on the other side of a hard time is a really big blessing, and we stuck to it. We kept the faith, and to be rewarded with something like this, you can't really even put it into words.
We'll shift to our right with Maddie.
Right over here. Paige, AZ, and Sarah, all three of you, how validating is it that, Paige, you're ending your career with the national championship? AZ, you came back from a knee injury, and Sarah, as a freshman, to come in and be a part of breaking this title drought. Just how validating is it to sit up there and know that you're national champions?
Yeah, very validating to all the hard work we put in as individuals and as a team, and how much we stuck together through the good times and the bad, and how connected we were. We feel like we were so connected and nothing could break us. We've been through a lot on our own as a team, so we feel like nothing that life or basketball can throw at us would ever break us and make us separate. So to be able to sit up here with them, with the whole team, and share this moment is extremely validating.
That it's amazing.
And Paige?
Yeah, I would say a lot of the same things. Just in terms of the visibility and the access to women's sports now, women's basketball, it's been amazing to be a part of. Even since my freshman year, the women's game has grown so much, and you're extremely grateful to be a part of that. And I feel like it's only going to get better towards the future. But we thank the people who've laid the foundation every single day, the women's basketball players who came before us, who allow us to be at this stage, allow the WNBA to be something we aspire to be, and fulfill those shoes. So it all started with the groundwork, and we're just trying to fulfill what they've done.
You want to go to the front?
Congratulations, all of you. Can you just tell us when the moment came? It looked like you were going to win the game much earlier before the buzzer came, but when that final moment came, when the buzzer's there, when you have the realization, what was going through your heart and mind?
Is that a question for Paige?
Paige, yes. I'm sorry.
So many emotions. Gratitude was the main one. The journey of the ups and downs of everything that it took to get to that point, and just overwhelming joy, and just so happy for every single person who was a part of this journey. And so just to be able to sum that up in a few words, joy and gratitude would probably be the forefront.
Howard, Michael Vopel.
Mike Vopel from ESPN.com. This is for Sarah. You set the record for the most points scored by a freshman in the NCAA tournament, breaking the record by Tamika Catchings, which she set back in 1998 when your mom was playing. I'm just wondering if you could talk about this entire tournament for you and how well you've played.
Yeah, I did. I feel like I did better than I was expecting. But yeah, I mean, it's cool to score that. That wouldn't have happened without my teammates, though.
We'll go right behind you to Cassandra.
Cassandra Negley with Yahoo Sports. Paige, right in the middle. When you came out of the game, you were subbed out in that final minute and you had a long embrace with Geno. What was going through your head, especially as you went down the bench, whatever you're willing to share about that moment specifically?
Yeah, again, just gratitude for all that coach has meant to me and how much he shaped me to the human I am, to the basketball player I am throughout this entire 5 years, and just putting it all together in one hug, what our journey has been together. He told me he loved me, and I told him I hated him. So, but we both love each other, even though we hate each other some days. But yeah, just every single relationship that I've built throughout the years here, you just try to encapsulate it in one hug for 5 seconds. But just every single person that I went down the line and hugged just meant so much to me, and meant so much to the team. And so just like I've been saying, just a state of gratitude.
We're gonna go Bill Roden, then to Nancy.
I mean, no, not really.
We'll take our next question from Nancy.
Nancy Armour, USA Today Sports Page. Straight. You have talked throughout your career about how much the team means to you and that that's the most important thing to you. How fitting is it then that this was truly a team effort and it wasn't? I mean, obviously Sarah and Azzy had great games, but this was not one player taking over and winning this title on their own.
Yeah, we talked about it as a team. We thought leading up to this weekend, the Final Four game, last game, and this game, that we hadn't played our best team basketball yet in the tournament, and we had gotten to the point where we were and done it pretty well. But we thought we were saving our best performances for this weekend, and it's been just, I think, a great, summary of what we have been this entire season, of being a team, staying connected on any given night. It can be anybody's night, and how we play as a team. And I think that was just a great showing for that between last game and this game. So it's extremely fitting. It's destiny. And I think, obviously, I have a great faith, so I believe God planned that perfectly in a way that it went out. So it was just a great last showing of the great team basketball that we've been playing all season.
We're gonna go to the back. You can raise your hand so the student athletes can see you.
Hi, it's Miriam with Overtime, and my question is for all of you. How many unread texts and missed calls do you have right now, and who are the first people you're going to call back and why?
Just due to time, we'll actually only be able to have one of the student athletes answer. Do you have a preference on which one?
Let's do Paige.
Oh. Actually, I love responding to texts, so I probably only had like 10 missed texts before this game. I haven't not checked my phone yet. Hoping it's in the hundreds, maybe. Like, some people want to reach out to me, say congrats. I don't know. Missed calls, I don't like talking on the phone. So I'll get back to people on text, but if I had to pick one person to get back to, I don't know. It depends who reached out to me.
We're going to go to our left.
Katie Barnes for ESPN.com. For Azzy, just given everything that you've been through, and when you think about especially the last year, what does it mean to you to have this kind of a game on the biggest stage?
Today I really don't have words to describe what today felt like and what the rest of the day is going to feel like. Today was amazing. It's an amazing accomplishment to do with this team. But like, yeah, I scored a lot of points, but I just did what my teammates, like, they sent me great screens, got me the ball. I didn't get outside of myself. I read what the game was giving me. So this could have been Sarah, could have been Paige scoring the most. So really, I did what I knew I was capable of. My teammates trusted me. So really a shout out to them for putting me in that position and believing in me.
Take our final question from the back in the pink.
Madison Pearl, ESPN Anscape. This question's for Paige. Paige, yesterday I asked you how you don't get comfortable going into this game, being that you beat South Carolina by 29 points last game. Finishing this game, you beat them by 23 points. Coming into this game, did it feel like you had to prove a point, being that you beat them by 29 points?
No, I think we didn't carry whatever it was that happened last game when we played them the last time, and we actually probably knew they were going to come out with a chip on their shoulder, and be even more aggressive and trying to set the tone from the jump and strike first. So we were both playing for a national championship. I think that's the only motivation that you needed on both sides. So we just tried to come out and play every possession that it's the most important possession of the season, serve the moment, and not get too caught up in the past, the future, but being present in the moment and just serving that.
With that, we want to thank you for your time this evening and congratulations again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just a reminder that Paige, AZ, and Sarah are going to head over to the mix zone. We'll now start our questions for Coach. Give me one moment so I can start grabbing all your names.
Yay.
If we can start with Doug.
Hey, Geno. Doug
Hey, Doug.
Feinberg, the AP.
Oh, you guys are leaving. Don't come looking for me after. What's up, Doug?
Congrats on the title. Can you talk about the journey that Paige has been on these last 5 years with you, and the journey I guess you guys have had over the last 9 years to get back to winning a championship with all the heartbreaks that you talked about the other day, how you said you made mistakes and then you cost the team, and just what it means to get back on top?
I got, being honest, I think there was a big part of my inner circle, I guess, of people that I trust that were hoping that after the Stewie fourth in a row that I should have called it a day back then. That would have been pretty, apropos, I guess, right off into the sunset with Stewie and Tuck and Ryan, those guys. So when you make a decision that, you're not quite finished yet, and then 3-4 years go by and people start telling you that UConn's not UConn anymore, it's somebody else's turn, and then 5 years go by and 6 years go by and 7 years go by. It's not like it was extra motivation, but it just happened to coincide, the last 5 years with the pandemic, the bubble, the injuries. And I just kept thinking, I kind of owe it to these people to kind of let me see if we can take a whole team, what could happen. Because these people that have been playing against us for the last 7-8 years have not played against the University of Connecticut team. Yet beating UConn always seemed like the national championship to them. For us, it always seemed like if we ever get a chance to get healthy, this could be pretty good. So it coincided with Paige's journey, so my journey became hers in so many words. Who's to say that after she won her first, if we won her sophomore year, her second year at Connecticut, we won the national championship. And I feel like, okay, well, I lived up to my promise. She got a national championship. Let's move on. But because it didn't happen, it was just almost like a crusade on our coaching staff's part to like, let's do this, let's do this, let's do this. Who knew it would turn out like this? But I started to trust in them, and I think when I tell you that it really is out of your hands, it really is true. You know, all this is in the hands of the players that are playing, and it made it all worthwhile today. This is probably the most emotional one, like I said, that I've had maybe since, I don't know, really, really emotional. 2000, I can name them. 95 was pretty emotional, obviously. 2000 in Philly in front of my mom and stuff. And 2002 with Sue and that crew heading out. Then D senior year and then Stewie senior year. Like those were probably the most, because of what was involved. And this one had as much, if not more, involved. And I was pretty emotional when the game ended.
We'll go to Nancy.
Nancy Amber, USA Today Sports. Geno, what we heard Paige say, what you guys said to each other, but I'm wondering what you told her, and also too, just the fact that she has prioritized the team so much. How fitting was it that this was not, everything was not on her today?
Back part of your question, we as coaches felt like AZ was the key to the tournament. That every game that AZ played, we talked about in the locker room before the game and just the coaching staff. We said every time AZ scores more than 16 points, I forget what the number was exactly, we win every one of those games. And so we felt that if she could have an AZ type game, didn't have to be a 28-point game like the one at Carolina, that we will win. We kind of know what we're going to get from Paige. We kind of know what we're going to get from Sarah. So AZ became the focal point for us of who has to really step up tonight, and she did magnificently, obviously. And then to your point about the Paige thing, there are times when she and I are very, very, very serious together, and a lot of serious conversations have been had over the last 5 years between the two of us. And some conversations are light and fun and, don't mean anything. But today was the first one, I think, in 5 years that all the emotions that have been building inside of me came out. And they came out in her, because in 5 years that she's been in Connecticut, I've never seen her cry. And she might deny it, but she cried because she's going to miss me.
We'll go to the center and then we'll work our way back.
Hi, Coach. Eden Lassie, Hoops HQ. In November, you told me that you wanted to win another one to prove that UConn was still making history. This team, like in the legacy of UConn women's basketball, how do they fit into that in your mind?
I don't know. I mean, that's usually those things are decided by other people who write what it means based on top of each other. And I don't know that the bottom one holds everything up, but the first one, I don't think any other one means more to the legacy. Maybe what this one means is that there were a lot of people that didn't think it would ever happen. There are a lot of people that hoped it would never happen, that I'm glad that we were able to get to that spot that Connecticut has occupied. And not that we had to win a championship, but in the last 30 years, I don't know that any programs meant more to their sport than what UConn has meant to women's basketball. So I feel good about that.
We're going to shift to our right. Ava, if you could raise your hand, we can get the microphone to you.
Hi, Geno. Ava Wallace, The Washington Post. I know you've spoken extensively about your and Paige's relationship over the past couple weeks, I guess, but just in you mentioning that you felt like you really want to do it for her and do it for all your players,
Sure.
What about her inspires you and your coaching staff?
You know, it's funny. Jamel wasn't here her freshman year. Tanya wasn't here her freshman year. So they missed that whole bubble thing and they missed her being the National Player of the Year and all that. So their journey, my staff's journey with Paige, has been more like that because Paige is infuriating and she's absolutely mesmerizing when you watch her play at practice. She's like a symphony conductor that just everything just flows the way she wants it to flow. She dictates the pace of everything we do at practice, dominates every practice. But when she goes into those places where she doesn't necessarily have in her mind what we want as a coaching staff, she's infuriating. And it happened a couple of times today, and it just really infuriating. Like, you know, she is going to want to dictate, and my relationship with her has been, I know what she's going to do, and it's not always what I want her to do. But I know in the end, she's always doing what she thinks she needs to do for us to win. And so I got to pretend, I got to not look. And then if I do accidentally look, I got to pretend I didn't see it. And the two of us live happily ever after.
Michael Vogel.
Coach, as a fellow senior citizen, I asked this. So I don't hope you're not offended by it, but you are the oldest coach in men's or women's basketball to win a national championship. You've talked about how the last few years it's been hard. There's been times you thought, hey, do I want to keep doing this? Can you talk about just your journey to stick with this, and you want to stick around another, several years to win a few more?
Well, all those other coaches had the good sense to not stick around till they were 71. Again, we maybe talked about this recently. Yes, we all feel our age at some point. You know, we don't like to admit that we're older because we still act younger because of the people that we're dealing with, right? You know, I know a lot of my friends that are my age that haven't done what I've done with who I've done it with, and they look way older, act way older because they've lost the ability to be a kid because they're not around kids. So yeah, I may be 71 number wise, but I think otherwise I'm more able to do stuff with those young people because I'm around them every day and they rub off on me. So does that mean that I could do this for another X number of years? No, because, wine is good for you too. And if you're around it all the time, after a while, you know, you wake up and you go, that was really bad. And, you know, I had too much fun. And so these kids are fun, but there is going to come a time when the fun doesn't
Shake